Hey everyone, what's up? And welcome back to the Evolve with Emily show. I'm your host, Emily Hayden, and today's episode was absolutely incredible. I got chills probably 4 times in 4 separate parts of the episode. We talk all about things relating to believing in yourself and how to cultivate that self-belief, how your actions can help you create that confidence and that consistency, the importance of who you surround yourself with. As you listen to the episode, I really want you to pay attention to the language of how my guests and myself, how we all speak about ourselves and what we're going to do, because I think it'll really show you the power of surrounding yourself with others who are also practicing and cultivating that self-belief, that belief that you truly can do anything that you set your mind to. It's not if it happens, it's when it happens, and it's simply just a matter of time. So sit back and get ready for this episode. Before we dive in today, I did want to share with you guys a product that I actually took before I recorded this podcast. I took Rise, which is a nootropic formulated by Cured's very own in-house clinical herbalist. It contains a blend of lion's mane and cordyceps mushrooms, as well as a bunch of other ingredients and broad spectrum CBD. So I take this instead of taking an extra cup of coffee or another energy drink, because it's such the way that I describe it is it kind of just wakes you up from the inside out. Whereas I feel like caffeine or coffee or more energy drinks, when you have too much caffeine, it kind of just like jitzes you out a little bit. You guys have actually seen podcast episodes where I'm like, I think I've had too much caffeine, and I'm kind of just, you can tell I'm like way too stimulated. Whereas this, and you'll see it in the show, especially if you're watching the YouTube video, it was just such a natural focus and energy and presence. I feel very present when I'm on it, and it truly is one of my favorite products. I really encourage you guys, just try it. Try it once, and if you hate it, DM me about it and tell me, because I guarantee you none of you are going to hate it. You're going to love it and wish that you had ordered it sooner. So I will give you guys a special discount, because Cured is actually extending an exclusive offer. You can grab Rise for 20% off by visiting curednutrition.com/Emily Hayden and using coupon code Emily Hayden at checkout. That's CURED nutrition.com and /Emily Hayden and coupon code Emily Hayden at checkout to save 20%. So check it out. Let me know how you guys like it, and stay tuned for a future episode where I'm actually announcing the winner of the last giveaway that I did. So that'll be in an episode to come. Thank you guys for being here for today's show. I know the way that you spend your time is very important for you, and I really do seek to create the most amount of value. And I'm confident that today's podcast is going to bring you an immense amount of value. You'll probably want to take notes. You may want to listen to it twice, and you'll definitely end up sending it to a friend. Let's go ahead and get into today's episode. What's up, guys, and welcome to the Evolve with Emily podcast. I am your host, Emily Hayden, and today I have 2 in-studio guests, so make sure to check this episode out on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe, like the video. Their information and links will be down below, so you can get the whole rundown on them. But today, I have my friends. They are Maxx and Achilles. Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you for having us.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So we actually first initially met through Transcend and some mutual friends that we have, and we clicked at FitCon Utah. That was such an incredible event, and these are some of the people that are a part of the Transcend family that I just really connected with. And I was like, you guys should come to Houston and we'll have some fun, do our thing, do some content and work, hang. And they actually came.
Yeah.
Yes.
Apparently only for the cold plunge.
You got to be careful when you ask us to do things, because we actually do it.
Yeah,
those are the friends that I love to have.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the people that are like, oh yeah, we should hang out. And you know damn well they have no intention of actually hanging out.
Oh yeah.
You're like, we don't have to say that. You know, we don't have to do the courteous, like, yeah, we should do this. No. Just either text me and schedule it or don't.
Yeah. Actually, I had a friend who told me just a few weeks ago, she said, Max, do you know that you're the only person that tells me you're going to come and you do? I was like, that's horrible.
Wow.
That is horrible.
Wow.
We were talking about this book yesterday, The 4 Agreements.
Yeah.
And one of those is be impeccable with your word. And we talked about how, like, that's your personality naturally, right? Like, you're not going to say anything if you don't really mean it.
Yeah.
And that's part of that, right? Is like, if you say like, yes, I'm going to go to the movies with you guys, it's like you show up to the damn movie and you sit through it and you smile and you have a good time, you know, which is, I remember one time telling a friend, they like invited us all to the movies and we're all hanging out together, and they go, yeah, Emily, you want to go? And I go, no. And they were like,
and they get shocked,
they
right?
get shocked.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was like, why? I don't want to. And then they were like, what? And I was like, yeah, I just don't
I feel like sometimes people expect you to give them like a nice answer and then not even show up, and they won't even be surprised that you don't show up. but they get more shocked when you actually tell the truth.
Yeah.
Very strange.
We actually just talking about that last week, right? When you were just kind of like, I just tell people how it is. I have that issue with like just saying yes to everything, and I gotta kind of like say no. I gotta learn how to say no.
100%.
Yeah.
So sometimes the truth hurts, but I feel like a lie will hurt even more. So
I think the most loving thing that you can do is tell the truth.
Oh yeah.
I do think that presentation definitely matters. So if you just go around, doing it in a way that's like really hurting people, that's not helpful, right?
Yeah.
But at the end of it, like you said, truth does hurt sometimes, but I think it's more loving. Because let's say that a friend asks you like, hey, like, am I getting out of shape or something? Or like, am I this or that? And you sit there and you say, no, it's okay. And you allow them to continue their bad habits and they don't have any like real hard truth. Whereas if you were just to be like, yeah, I'm not going to lie, it's not your best. Like, what you want? Do you want to feel better? Do you want to look better? Let's do it together. I got you, I feel like
it's more like you want people to actually be able to trust you. What if it comes to a life or death situation sometime? Like you need to know, I mean, this is extreme now, but let's say you need to reach out to somebody and there's like an emergency. There's something like really bad going on. Like you won't reach out to a person that is never being honest with you.
That's so
like
true.
I want you to, if you come to me, like I want you to know that no matter what it is, I'm going to tell the truth. Or I'm going to, if I say something like, I will come help you, I will come help you. Because maybe, I said, most of the time it's not an emergency, but what if it is?
Yeah. And that's the thing is a lot of people don't have someone that they can really depend on or rely on. And when you're that person that tells the truth, no matter what it's like, they know they can depend on you and come to you. I have a friend who he worked on his podcast intro and it's this huge production thing. He goes, what do you think about it? And I was like, you want the truth from me, huh? He goes, yeah. I was like, I hate it. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, that's just my opinion. I respect it. But like, I think this, and that. And he texts back. He's like, I love you so much. Thank you. Like he was so happy that I gave him this honest answer. Cause it definitely was like this pretty packaged thing. It just wasn't him at all, And I'm like, you can do that if you want, but like, that's not you.
You're also never going to be able to improve if you don't get honest feedback.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. So, okay. People who may not have heard of you guys before, could you give just a little background info on yourself, who you are, where you're from, maybe a few of the cool things that you've done? I have really cool friends. Like they've done some really awesome things. So maybe just like a few of those things. Achilles, do you want to go first?
God,
Mr. Achilles King. No, you're first.
Well, those are listening. My name is Achilles King. I'm originally from Providence, Rhode Island. Just moved to Miami from San Diego about 4 or 5 months ago. The coolest thing I've done so far, I've actually was on a reality dating show. It's called the Courtship. So if you guys have ever watched Bridgerton, it's actually Bridgerton reality twist where I was featured. I was one of the suitors. That was a great experience. We actually filmed that in York, England, York. And I think that's one of the coolest experience I've done personally because I've the first time I've ever been on TV and I met all the guys on there, the suitors, people on the production team, and I've made a lot of friends, a lot of connections. So I think that was one of the coolest experiences I've ever done in my life personally.
And he took over the whole show. Don't be shy.
Oh, well.
Oh, I've heard.
Why?
Yeah, no, I've heard that you were quite the character on the show, that you were like quite the vocal point in such a good way too, because I feel like reality TV can go one way or the other.
Yeah.
And I think it's cool that who you are was really on display.
Yeah, because when they reached out initially the first time, I said no. I didn't want to do the show because I thought it was going to be like one of those drama dating shows and stuff. And they took a while for me to actually make the decision. So when I went on there, the first thing that I thought in my head, I'm like, I'm just going to be myself. I'm not going to be or portray a different character, to allow anyone to, see me as somebody else. So, and it worked for me because, a lot of people respected where I came from and, things that happened and situations that happened in my life. So, yeah. Do
you have one overarching lesson that you feel that you learned from that show?
Wow. Man, I learned a lot of lessons that day. Well, not that particular day, but the show. I feel like the biggest lesson that I've learned, no matter where you're at in life, that everyone should be treated with respect. And I think that the best advice I've got prior to me getting on the show was to make sure you remember everybody's name, rather it's the janitor, rather it's the person that's fixing your mic, rather it's the person that's doing your makeup, whatever. every single person on that production team matters. And for me, it was like a test because, you know, not that I have short memory span, but, you know, if you meet like 20 people in one day, you have different names. So my challenge every single day was, okay, remember this guy's name, remember this person's name. And it worked out for me because I built so much relationships after that, because I had people come up to me like, man, you know what it feels like for somebody like yourself that's actually on the TV show that remembers my name? That feels amazing. And I'm like, damn, so he was right. So
How did you remember the names though?
I know.
Like, what was the trick?
the trick for me,
Because it's hard.
It is hard.
The trick with me was just joking around. I have a crazy sense of humor, so I would always shoot the shit with them, and always try to remember one thing that they would tell me about themselves, like, hey, why are you on the show? And then they'll go into depth as to why they're on the show, how they get discovered to do the show, and, you know, things like that. So it always helped me day by day to remember. But it definitely helps, because I'm even in shock that I remember everyone's name right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
And I think at the root of that, we all have these desires inside, whether we're aware to it or not. And one of our desires as humans, as people, is to be seen.
Yeah.
You know, so to give people that experience of like, hey, you're seen, you know, especially by someone that they may feel, maybe they don't, I'm not sure. But I feel like sometimes people may put others on a pedestal and they may feel like it's not my peer.
Yeah.
And so for someone that they may view as, I don't know, just a different level than them, for them to be seen by that, I think shows them like that they are important. And I think that it's kind of like this superpower that I think people in positions have. Like, you have access to this power to allow people to be seen, to be heard, which is a really beautiful experience for people that especially are in the background or behind the scenes, and maybe they don't feel that way on the regular. So I think it's cool you were able to give that to people.
It felt amazing, especially when I was leaving. I had everyone, like, even the production team was like, everyone was crying that I was leaving. It was so crazy. I was like, man, this type of impact, it felt so good to connect with people on a different level. So yeah. And it's not like one of those crazy dating shows. It's like proper, elegant, like you have to be, you know, respected and things like that. So it was pretty cool.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
No, thank you.
Maxx, Miss Champion, Miss Queen Diva.
Yeah.
Share with us a little bit about where you're from.
Well, my name is Maxx West. I'm from Sweden. I've been in the States for about 11, 12 years now. I just basically one day I realized that, you know, I don't love my life. I'm not happy. I need to make a change. Quit my job, rented out my apartment, packed 7 suitcases and left. No plan. Best decision I've ever made. And I kind of try to live like that always now, to just go for it sometimes and not think so much. And I've gotten very far by doing this. And I turned 37 years old this year, and I've just realized there's so much in life that doesn't matter. And I'm just trying to be happy. Every day I need to laugh and smile at some point, not like stress over things that I can't do anything about, and try to believe in myself. And I've been a photographer 18 years, like photo, video, design, all of this. My passion in life, I will always do this no matter what. I make money on it today. I didn't in the beginning, but it's my biggest hobby, and I just love it. And I coach people as well. So I started competing in the WBFF 2 years ago.
It's been going so bad for you.
Yeah. So I've had 2 USA titles so far, going for the world title this year.
Hell yeah.
And when I did the first show, I didn't so I got my pro card during COVID in a virtual competition.
Oh,
it was very like not planned at all. I didn't expect at all to get the pro card. So my first actual show was a pro show. I never did an amateur show, like a real amateur show. Wow. So I stepped on the pro stage, won my first show. And I remember when I was on prep, you know, first I was thinking, you know, am I good enough for this? Like, I feel like a lot of these people, they're gonna be so much better than me. And then about a month or so out from the show, I just looked myself in the mirror one day, and I don't remember why I just changed my mindset like that. But I looked myself in the mirror and I said, Maxx, shut the fuck up. You are great. You have worked so hard, and you're gonna kick ass. And I went in and I won. And I was like, whoa, it worked. So from now on, whether I compete myself or if I coach somebody, I always tell like myself or my clients, I was like, you look yourself in the mirror and you say, bitch, you're the shit.
Yes.
Like, don't be a cocky asshole, but you have to think like that.
Yeah.
And just like I always try to think, I'm not going in there to try to win. I'm going in, I'm winning this shit. Like, that's just how it is. But everybody needs to think the same. It's not that I have some clients that I actually compete against. And I tell them to say the same things to themselves.
100%.
They need to say, I won that shit already. And I'm going to say the same. And we're going to go in there and we're going to kick ass.
Hell yeah. That's a mindset that I adopted before I earned my pro card, because it was a pretty heavy and hard climb for me. I did 14 shows, 7 national shows before ever going pro. And the mindset that I adopted was when I went out on stage, I told myself in my head, I already won the entire show. And now the announcer told the audience, hey, we're going to have the winner of the entire show come and show you their craft and get to show you like what they do. This is how it's done. And then I'd go on stage as if I'm the only one on stage and I'm showing them why I just won. So I think it's important to point out those like mindset things that we tell ourselves, because going back to like hearing you talk now is amazing. And yesterday we were talking about this, like you have to believe in yourself more than anyone. But hearing that this confident champion person that you are now once felt, am I good enough? Are other people going to be better than me? I think just shows the people that are listening and watching right now, if that's them, you can evolve your mindset into what you are now.
I also think though that if you were just born thinking you're the best shit in the world, that I don't know if that's a good way either. Like you have to have been that person that is not confident in all of this and work on how to change your mindset to be able to help others change your mindset. Because if you never had to change your mindset, then you don't know the journey to get there.
I could agree to that, because I remember being 220 pounds overweight myself.
Wow.
I was 220 pounds overweight. And this is me coming from doing boxing. I was doing boxing since I was like 14 years old. And then it got to a point in my life when I was around like my mid 20s, I've gained all this weight. I was eating McDonald's like every week, well, actually every day, almost the same meals. And then once I gained the weight, and then a friend of mine ended up taking a picture of me while I was at McDonald's. And that's when I realized, like, holy shit, I've gained all this weight. And that's when I started like experimenting on like trying to figure out a way to meal prep or diet to cut my calories. And I didn't know what the fuck I was doing back then, but I've lost the weight and then I gained it back. I lost the weight, gained it back, until in 2015 is when I did my first bodybuilding show. And that literally changed my entire life in terms of fitness, because it opened up so many doors for me to start doing online coaching and things like that. But that's when I realized, like, man, like I've been missing out on life. And like, it actually gave me so much confidence and, and just looking at life in a different perspective, because when you have all that weight on you, you're not as confident, you deal with all these insecurities and you deal with, these sicknesses that come up. And so I agree with you. I can relate with you on that.
And I think a way to build that confidence, right? Because maybe someone's listening and they're that older version of you, right? Or I'm sorry, the younger version, but like the previous version of you. And they're like, I know I'm not the best shit. I'm overweight. I have health issues. I don't go to the gym, right? And so I think a practical way to start building that in your life is gain confidence in your daily actions and in your daily habits, right? So if you know that you're not there yet, just create a daily plan and daily targets that you have to hit every single day without fail. And allow that to build your confidence as the outward expression of you starts to match the inward expression.
So you have to be proud of yourself for like keep working towards your goal and be proud of yourself that you are actually working. Maybe you're not there yet, but also I think, so as that this guy came up in the gym yesterday and interviewed me about body types, and I was just messing around, and then he said like, okay, how would you rate me? And I'm just fucking around. I was like, you're 9.5. He's like, what's missing? I was like, do you know what? I don't think anybody in the entire world is ever going to be a 10. And that in nothing, in our personality, not visually, nothing. Because if you're a 10, what's left?
Yeah.
You can't. You have to have something to work on.
Yeah.
And it's the same like with myself. Like I'm very happy with what I look like, but I always want to have something to change, not because I'm disappointed in, not because I don't like it, but I always want something to improve.
You want to reach the fullest potential of your life. And I think that's the part of the point for still being here on this earth. I feel like if we're here, there's more to us.
Yeah.
You know, maybe we've accomplished our goals physically or in certain aspects of life, but maybe there's more development to be had mentally, spiritually, emotionally, you know? So I
think you should have a goal for everything. You
Yeah.
should always have a visual goal to change. You should always have a mental goal to change. You should always have, you know, everything. So you always have something to work towards.
Earlier you said that as you're turning 37, that you realize there's a lot of things that don't matter, that you don't want to waste your time on. Are there things that maybe in your earlier 30s that you used to focus on, or maybe like, you know, mid 20s or something, that you look back now with like experience and perspective and you're like, that did not matter, I shouldn't have stressed so much on that?
I think a lot. I'm a lot in my own head. I don't know, you know, so I'm hyperactive. I know I probably have ADD, ADHD, something. I don't like to go to doctors. I don't like to take medication and stuff. So I was never diagnosed with anything, but I know for sure there's something. And I think a lot. Yeah. And I'm a lot in my own world, kind of. And sometimes people can ask me, oh, did you see that? Or did you do it? No, like it might look like I'm seeing things, but I'm in here, you know? So I think a lot. I've done my whole life. And I think I've been overthinking things. So it would make me stressed about things that I don't have to stress about. And I think I really didn't get to it until, so when I started competing 2 years ago, I started getting really bad gut issues. It was really bad. And, you know, it can definitely make you very stressed, right? Yeah. And that's when I think I started like really thinking about it, how like I'm going to get through this. Like somehow I'm going to get through it. And the first show, it was really bad. Then the last show, I actually ended up in the hospital. So I got some sort of, I thought it was like food poisoning, whatever the hell it was. And I remember laying there in the hospital. We don't know what's wrong with me. We're trying to figure it out, but I'm really like, I'm throwing up and stuff. And then I get home and I have this really bad cramp, and Achilles FaceTimes me, and I think I was just like laughing on the phone, and he's like, what the fuck? Are you okay? I'm like, no, I'm not okay. Yeah. And he's like, why are you laughing? I was like, because I'll be fine. And you know what? I'm going to win this shit. And my coach said, are you sure you're going to compete? I'm like, yes. This is fine. Like, I'm fine. I'm not dead, am I? You know, and I think it helped me just thinking, I was like, I'll be fine. Everything will be fine. And I broke my foot before the show too. Yeah. And I was just like, fuck it. I'll be fine. I'm still alive, you know? And like, these are extreme things, but that's how I'm trying to think. Like, don't stress about it. I'll be fucking fine. I'll be fine. You know, everything will be fine.
It's true though. When you look back at all these moments that felt so monumental in the moment, like this is like a make or break. You look back and you're like, I don't even think about that anymore. Yeah. You know, like life has moved past that and now like everything's fine.
Yeah. And that's what I think. These are like extreme things, but I think if I can manage to not stress about that, then the small things are just... Yeah, it doesn't even matter anymore. Yeah. So whenever something doesn't go my way, I try to just not, you know, you can still, but oh shit, you know, like that. But I try to not overthink it, not stress about it, because I know I will figure it out. Everything will be fine. I know that.
For me, it just creates a better story anyway. Like I just like to look back and be like, yeah. I broke my leg.
Yeah. No, and if you can somehow keep some sort of calm, you're gonna heal faster too.
100%. That's why I like the cold plunge, which we are going to do later, maybe today or tomorrow.
What's the longest you can stay in that tub?
You know, I don't know the research on it, but I do believe that at a certain point, more is not better. And I think I see a lot of people who they want to feel really, so they're kind of like in their ego. Yeah. Like, I did this amount, you know, and at a certain point, your body just goes into hypothermia. Like, you know, because when you're
so how do you figure out what's like a good time?
So a lot of research that I've seen, 3 to 5 minutes is great. And so I do like 3 minutes and 15 seconds or so. And sometimes I'll do like a double dip.
Maybe individual too?
A little bit.
Have you tried a longer or shorter, whatever?
Yeah, a little bit, but I don't like to push myself to the point where my body is involuntarily shaking, because I think that's kind of too much. And I don't think it, like I like to do the minimal amount effective to get the result that I'm looking for. So I want the muscle recovery, the lessened aches and pains. I want the mental benefits, the mental health stuff that I get from it. And I get that easily within 3 minutes.
So have you actually noticed a difference?
Oh my God, you have no idea. It's I mean, I was joking yesterday. You guys didn't laugh very hard. I'm like, dude, are they judging me right now? But I was like, because I was like, I just do drugs all day because I'm like, I
know you meant that.
I get my endorphins, you know, I do the cold plunge, which also gives you endorphins. Like I'm addicted to like health and fitness and like all these things that produce these healthy hormones, which I guess are kind of like doing drugs.
I always say the same thing. I didn't even think.
Okay.
I'm high on life.
Well, because I made a joke and I was like, yeah, I just do drugs all day, and I laughed, and you guys just looked at me.
No, I didn't think you meant. No, I know what you meant.
You guys were just like, and I was like,
no, we were just on the exact same level as you. Okay, no, I get food drunk. Gym drunk.
Exactly.
You know, it's like, or high. You know.
I was just extremely impressed.
I'm glad
my mind was blown.
No.
Why?
I just can I be like?
Yeah, of course.
I mean, I feel like, you know, I'm like, I don't know, I'm a very visual person at times, and just watching what you do day to day. I mean, I haven't seen day to day in detail, but from what I know, all these things that you're good at, it's just incredible to me. Like, you know, I don't know, that's why I was sitting there like, damn, this girl does everything. Like, what isn't she good at? You know? I don't know if
you've figured out your shit.
Yeah.
Really?
It's inspiring. Yes.
Yeah, it's very inspiring.
Yeah, you guys feel that way? Oh,
yeah.
Thank you so much.
Cool.
That means a lot to me. I sometimes am like, what am I doing with my life? Wow. You know, like
I don't think there's a sort of, and there's the same, like everything that you do doesn't mean that's going to be the perfect way for somebody else.
100%.
It's the way for you.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I, similar to you, started to figure out some things in life, and which isn't very much. There's a lot that I don't know. But what I did figure out is I want to be happy, and I want my days to be filled with all the things that I love. So when I'm training jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai and cold plunging and working out and being in nature for a quick run or something, like that's when I'm my happiest, when I have friends and people that are like filling this house with love and good energy. Like that's when I'm my happiest. That's why I'm hosting friends throughout the entire month, you know, like these are all the little, I call them like the daily ingredients, daily ingredients that I want in my life. And sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less. But as long as I have some of these daily ingredients, I'm happy with the way that I'm living my life. So I think that's what you guys are witnessing is I've just really created a life that I'm really happy to live.
That's some badass shit. You coming home yesterday after we came from the gym and you eat your meal, not even like 20 minutes later. You're like, hey, all right, guys, I'm going to go for a quick run. I'm like, what? Run?
I mean,
she put her shits on, her headphones on, went for a run, came back, opened the garage, showed us the gym. All right, I'm going to go for a cold plunge. I'm like, oh shit. She's like G.I. Jane.
Yeah, you know, I secretly have always wanted to be a superhero in a movie one day.
Yeah.
Cool.
You will.
You will.
We're gonna be in a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
Like legit.
Yeah.
No, we've just decided that.
Oh,
we haven't talked to anybody. No. We just decided.
Hell yes.
No.
All right, well then I'll see you guys there. What time's the casting?
Well, I am. Well, it's not. We don't have to say that.
I don't know if we need a casting either.
Not a casting. Sorry.
Well, it's just not.
Call time.
It's not. It's just not
shoot.
the year, because this year I'm going for the world title. But then after that,
hell yes. This guys, who you surround yourself with is so incredibly important. Do you hear the way that everybody speaks, and it's just so natural, right? Like for you to just be like, yeah, well, I'm going to get the world title, and then we're going to do this. Mm-hmm. Those are the people you want to surround yourself with, not like, well, what if, maybe, I hope to. I just said
the other day, if is a word that doesn't exist for me anymore.
Yeah.
And I think it's because you've proven to yourself over and over and over again that you can do it if you just decide to do it and then match your actions with that.
I agree.
Because if you really put your mind to something and then you just work until it happens, and I think that if you don't, it wasn't the time for you yet. Because as we were talking a lot about clients, you know, some people would sign up. So I have a good example. I had somebody signing up a while ago for a coaching program, and no matter what I told her, she would have an excuse for how she couldn't do that. But then I had another client signing up a while ago. So we signed up, I gave her plan, and she had so many questions. She questioned everything, you know, not understanding why she would do that. But I said, you know what? So this is why I said, and please trust me. And she did. And it's only been a few weeks, and she messaged me. She said, holy shit, Max, it works. And I was like, thanks for trusting me.
Wow.
Because I understand sometimes it's like, oh wow, really? Like I don't, but she trusted it and she tried it. That's what I love. Like, I don't mind questions. Ask me a million questions, please do. You don't have to agree with me or understand, but you came to me, because you thought I could help you and you trusted what I said and you did it and it worked. And that makes me so happy when she actually, now she saw it work. She's like, holy shit, okay. If you say something, I'm trying.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. That's awesome. And I feel like that's the ideal client, right? Is you don't have to be a perfect client. You don't even need to be an easy client, but be a client that's willing to trust you if you hired us to coach you, you know, and then follow through with the program, be consistent. And I think that's the problem is a lot of clients that come in, they aren't consistent enough to see the results from the program that they're doing.
Yeah. And they're not really, they're trying like, they think overnight they're just going to see something. No, that's not how it works. You have to just kind of trust it for a while. Yeah, it will come and it will be worth it.
I don't know if this is strange or not, but first and foremost, I think that a lot of human beings don't understand how incredibly gifted they are. I think they're only looking at the physical aspect of everything and the physical aspect of life, rather it's their body, rather it's materialistic things. But I think that since all three of us, right, this is what I'm thinking. I'm like, we've gone through this shit and we figured out a way to tap in to something. And I think that our goal in our jobs in this career that we do is to show them how to tap into the same fucking energy. And I think that they just need to be tapped in, but they need to allow themselves to be tapped in, because if you come in with restrictions or like, hey, you know, I don't know if I want to do this, which is understandable because we didn't know we were going to do this shit. We didn't know we were going to tap in like this. You know, I walked into the gym, I'm looking at all these freaks. I'm like, damn, these guys are jacked and these guys have been training for so long. Like, where's my place? How am I going to do this? And it's like, just be consistent with it. And eventually you're going to figure out how to tap into your own way. Like tap into it in your own way, if that makes sense. Yeah. Does that make sense? I don't know if I'm all over the place bouncing around or whatever, but
no, that makes perfect, clear sense.
It's just something in our brains. It's something not just physical, but spiritual, that once you tap into that energy source, you're like, oh, this is how it works.
Yes.
But it takes time and consistency, and you got to trust that, you know?
I almost think, you know how, guys, we had like this religious talk before, and as you guys know, I'm not religious, and I don't believe in God, but I don't not believe either. And I know we had a conversation, like I have to be open, because I've asked a lot of friends of mine, I was like, why have I never gotten a sign? But I also think that most of my life, I think that deep down in here, I told myself that it's not true, because that's how I was raised, that's how I grew up. But I think these days I still haven't gotten a sign, so I can't say that I'm a true believer, but I feel like, you know, I'm more open to it. I love hearing people's stories, and, you know, I don't know what happens, but I feel it's kind of the same as these people be with the coaching and everything. Like, I think that somewhere in there, I still told myself that, no, it's not true. Yeah. So then you can't either see anything, you know?
Oh my gosh, what you just said is so powerful, because think about this in the personal development world, right? It's like, okay, you have this limiting belief, and because you have this limiting belief surrounding, let's say, money, they'll never step into that or experience that because they're holding themselves back within their own mind and heart, right? So for you to be able to recognize, I think I'm limiting myself here or closing myself off, it's kind of like you're at the door and you have it shut, right? And it's like, if you open the door, what could happen? What experience could you have? You know, and I've truly experienced God in an experiential way, not in a religious way, not in I read about it and now I think this is best. Like, I have had an encounter with God. And after that, before I always believed, but after that, I was like, I just pray that people have their own encounter, because I really believe that he will encounter everybody in their own timing, like when it's ready, but it's right for them, if they're open to it. So I always pray for that, because once you have your own encounter, there's like, you don't even question anything anymore. You're just like, okay, so God's real, you know, and then you get to like go on your own journey. And that's the thing, is I just hope everyone gets that, you know, opens themselves up to the experience that God is real.
Dude, you saying that is literally what I'm thinking about in my head as she's talking, because like, she is such an amazing person.
I know, dude.
You're such a fucking amazing dude. Like, I got so like, damn, I haven't been this emotional in a long time.
Let it out. Quit fighting.
Hell no, fighting that shit. I got so emotional hearing you speak, because it's like, for me, I'm so into God. I believe in God so much, and God has gotten me through so many fucking challenges in life, and I really want that for you so bad. Yeah. So bad.
Yeah. It's cool, because it'll happen. It'll happen.
Because I love hearing people's stories.
Yeah.
Because
she's like so innocent.
if you
like
tell
I'm
me a
just-
story, or if you tell me a story, like, I don't think you're
Yeah.
making it up.
Yeah.
I can't fully believe until I see something. That's just the
Totally.
way I am.
Totally. And
But
that's,
I just love hearing it.
and that's how I've always been too. Like, I'm like, okay, like, I understand, I believe, I trust you. But like, okay, so here's what it was for me. I actually had belief, and I felt like I had signs like multiple times in my life where I felt very like strong in my faith. But then I would hear people speak about what they called an unshakable faith, something where it's like, no matter what, God's real. And I know that, you know, and I knew I didn't have that. I was like, even with as much as I believe, as much as I feel like I've seen God in my life, I don't have an unshakable faith. So I just prayed for that. And I was like, God, I want what they have. I want an unshakable faith where like anything in the world could happen. And I would say, no, God's real. And so it wasn't like immediate, but like later I got my own experience where I literally told him, I was like, you don't ever have to speak to me again. You never have to show me a sign again. I know that you're real. I know that this is where I come from. And I know that that's where I end up. And that like knowing inside is just, it's so valuable and precious. And there's a lot of things I don't know. There's so much more that I think is like wrong with like religion, what we've turned this into, that I think is just, I think we're missing the mark completely. And I think that's what like turns people away from it. But like the real thing is so real and so vibrant and so good. So yeah, I always just pray that people get their own understandings, their own knowing,
Yeah,
you know?
I agree. That was powerful.
Yeah, thanks. That was cool. Thanks for bringing that up. I love how she brings that up. She's like, let's go here. Cool. We're down. Send it. Achilles, you went on this like year-long spiritual journey.
Yeah.
And so I want to know, is there anything that you can share from that? Why did you decide to go on the journey? What did that journey look like for you? And what were some of your takeaways after that?
All right, you guys ready to get raw with this?
Let's roll.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep it 100. You know, well, this happened, I think, back in 2019. I was in a 4-year relationship with someone, and then we decided to separate ways. I have to go separate ways, and I told myself, you know, I could either start dating again right away, or just kind of, you know, mess around and meet other women and be a womanizer or whatever. Because, you know, when you're single and you're in that situation where you've been in a relationship for 4 years, you have all these thoughts. You're like, all right, well, I don't know if I want to get back into a relationship because I just got out of one. So maybe I should just start talking to people and getting to know and all that. But whatever. So this crazy experience happened to me after this breakup. So I went home, and I'm not going to lie to you. I was hurt. I was 4 years into this relationship, and I put a lot of work in. I'm sure she did as well. But so I was talking to my brother, the one that just passed away, and he's super into God. Like, he was one of the ministers at church, actually. And I'm sitting on the phone just agitated and upset. And he's like, man. And I'm like, man, like, you know, I don't know why this didn't work out, why this relationship didn't work out. And he's like, you know why it didn't work out? I'm like, why? Because when you brought her to church and you wanted her to, you know, to get that experience with God, she denied him 3 times. And I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, that she wasn't for you because you're a man of God. I'm not saying that you have to be this religious person, but you have to kind of believe in something spiritually, whatever.
How did she deny?
Well, I'll give you an example, not to call this person out. This is not what I'm trying to do, but, you know, I remember she wanted to get married, I guess, whatever, at that time. And I wasn't really ready for it, per se, because there was a lot of issues that were going on. And she was like, oh, well, let's start going to church, and, you know, maybe we can be, you know, be abstinent again and practice whole abstinency, like, before getting married and all that. And it's like, all right, cool. So we would go, and I was like, hey, maybe we should get baptized or something, you know, because I wanted to get baptized. It's been a while, whatever. And she was like, well, I'm not ready for that yet. I'm like, okay, why? Because I haven't experienced life yet. I'm like, what? What do you mean you haven't experienced life yet?
You can't get baptized and experience life. Like, what
She
does that mean?
That sounds like that was her understanding.
Meaning that she still wanted to do worldly things.
Yeah.
And then also do this. Not saying that I'm this super religious type of person, but like, it was almost like, all right, I want to go to the gym, but then I also want to drink 24/7 and have a bad diet. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
It was kind of like that. And then that's what he told me. He's like, oh, maybe this person wasn't for me or whatever. But that was besides the point. But I'm getting to the point now. So one day I'm at home and by myself, and I start having these thoughts because at the time, I'm not gonna lie, I was watching pornography. Like, I'm not in a relationship, you know, I was very active for years. And after I finished watching it, I felt so guilty that to the point that I literally like completely stopped and I started to pray. And I told God, I said, God, I promise you I will never do this again. I promise you that, you know, I won't start watching pornography and all these other things. And for some reason, that promise then turned into a year and a half of abstinence. And I didn't date. I didn't, you know, do anything to myself intimacy wise. And like, what is it? What's another word of saying this? Again?
Self-pleasure.
Self-pleasuring myself at all. And I became so powerful. I became so far. I honestly felt more alive. I felt more alive than I've ever felt in my life going through this stage, because I felt like everything that I've ever wanted in life was happening for me because I was only focusing on that and focusing on prayer. And I just felt great.
Wow.
I don't know if I just rambled on. But
No, you didn't. So you did a year abstinent from any of that. And you said you felt more powerful.
Yeah.
Why do you feel like you felt more powerful? What was the source of that?
I don't know. It started off like me going to certain places at first. Like after like 8 months of not doing anything, like I felt people who just random strangers would come to me and ask me questions about some random things. It was almost like, hey, I got a question. I'm like, all right, cool. Like I'll be in line at the grocery store and then somebody randomly will pull up and be like, I got a question.
Energy just shining around.
Yeah,
it was insane.
Yeah.
It was insane. Like, hey, I have a question about something. Like, hey, what do you think about should I get this bag of chips or this one? What? It would just, it started off like that. So and then I walked into a gym one day, and this is when I started realizing. I walked in and there was a girl at the front desk I would always say hi to. I just started going to the gym, like 5 days in a row or whatever. And she had stopped me the 5th time and she was like, hey, I got to tell you something. I'm like, what? I don't know what it is about you, but you have incredible energy, to the point that the girl that just walked in prior to you, she pulled me to the side and said, what is it about that guy? His energy is insane. Like, I can't stop looking at him, or I can't stop. It's not that I'm attracted to him in any type of way physically. Like, you are
attractive though.
But no, she wasn't. She was saying like, I wasn't. She's like, I'm not trying to say it like that. It's just something about him. I want to be around him. I don't even know who he is. And that's.
I always told you you're a lucky charm.
No. But things like that started happening, and then just, I don't know. I felt more alive for some reason.
I think the energy that you carry is what you attract to you, right? And I think it's very attractive when you are full of so much light and full of so many of the elements that make you who you are. And it sounds to me like you really aligned with what makes you truly you and your identity. And that sounds like it was really coming out and people were attracted to that. Yeah.
And then, you know, as this happens, you know, in this world of abstinence, like, I just feel like intimacy is such a spiritual act. You know, I feel like, you know, when you meet someone that you really like, you know, you should experience it with that particular person, as opposed to just experiencing with people that you're not really into and you just want to get your fix. But that's just my opinion. Everyone has their own perspective on it.
I think we all have to have gone through that stage to get to the next.
Of course. And you also talked about that the other day, and how, like, you know, when you were younger, you were more reckless, and now as you get older, you're like, you know what, like, I didn't just want to just sleep with anyone that I don't like. I want to find someone that I'm attracted to and like, and then eventually build something from there, which is that I agree with, of course.
I've heard you phrase it before, spiritual hygiene. And how it's like,
spiritual hygiene.
Yeah, go into that. What is that?
Yeah, spiritual hygiene.
That's a good word. I've never heard you say that.
You've never heard him say that? I've heard it like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, it's like spiritual hygiene for me is like, it's kind of like not. How do I break this down before? Like, I broke it. Can't even talk today. Give it away now.
Reset.
Give it away. It's like, don't give your energy to just anyone. Like, you just giving it away, and it's just like that spiritual hygiene. You're walking in the mud all the time. Like, you know, hey, maybe you should walk on clean water for once. Like, you shouldn't be giving it to everybody. So that's kind of my way of spiritual hygiene.
Yeah, and I think that in the act of intimacy, you open yourself up to whatever energy they have as well. And if they are walking in the mud, so to speak, with all the time, you're actually taking on energy that may not even be theirs.
Yeah.
So they may be a great person, but if they're also a great person with all this energy attached to them, and then all of a sudden you guys are intimate, you're sharing that energy and taking that energy on. Just like someone was able to see the radiant energy on you, it could be the opposite, and you may not see it. You may just feel it afterwards.
Yeah. It's kind of like where the more good you do and the more you're in this righteous walk with God or your personal self-healing, you become this, like, you know, those little light bulbs outside where they attract all these type of bugs.
Yeah.
You get attracted. Yeah, it's kind of
God.
That's what I'm saying. You become that. It's almost like you're this great bowl of energy. You figured it out. Now it's kind of like, all right, who do I want to align myself with? And you're going to get attacked by the positive, like a evil bug, a good one, you know, like things like that. You're going to attract so many energy sources. And then now it's almost like, all right, cool. Now I know where I stand. Who do I want to stand with?
Yeah. You know? Oh my gosh. And that is like such a hard question to ask, because you're like, this little bug that's coming over here looks great, you know, but then it comes and it's like, and it like, you know, really messes up your energy source for a second. You're like, I really got that one wrong.
Yeah.
And so I found like trying to really align with the right people, it can sometimes be hard.
It's very difficult. Because we give everybody the benefit of the doubt. You know why? Because sometimes we become godly people in a sense of what would God do, right? And, you know, God doesn't judge. God forgives.
100%.
Right? So it's kind of like, well, I've been there before. I've done these things. I may give him a chance because I've been there. But then in all actuality, like, yeah, you've been there, but you're here now. Yeah. And they're not there yet. That's the difference.
What you just said is so much gold, because I think a lot of people find themselves in that position, having compassion and being so understanding and so forgiving. And I think that you should be that way in all your relationships. But I think the most intimate relationship, the one that you are partnering with, standing with, you guys need to be, there's this term called equally yoked. Have you heard of it?
Yes.
Yeah. Because I think I like to always, so I grew up in Sweden, and Sweden is very different from this country. And I remember when I was like 15, my family had decided that we were going to move over here. So my uncle went here first, lived here for like 2 years, came back, still to this day, like live out in the woods with his girlfriend and his cats, and, you know. Nice. And as far as I know, like he just said living over here just screwed him up. Like he was so shocked of the way people were and how people behaved and what people were willing to do. And I know when I first came here to now I'm, you know,
acclimated.
Better. I'm just better at like seeing people for who they are, I think. But when I first came here, I was just like, oh my God, everyone is a great person. And I got screwed over pretty good a lot of times. Because I would always think that, so if somebody would do something to me that seemed wrong or bad, I would be like, it's probably not, they probably didn't mean that. And yes, I had a lot of bad shit happen to me for a while. And then I got very standoffish to humans for like almost 2 years. So yeah, you have to just like get better at, I guess, sensing people's energy somehow.
And how do you do that as like a woman, and you're more mature, developed woman, right? In your business and your life and your mentality. So how do you read people? Like when you, for example, let's say like, guys or something, they always want to show you their best, right? Especially in the beginning. How have you like trusted your intuition, or like what are your tips on being able to read if someone is truly who they are saying that they are?
Well, first of all, as I said, in this world of social media, I can never, ever, ever in my life see a person online and start talking to them and make any sort of opinion about the person. Like you can talk to somebody, yes, so but I cannot say, because I have a lot of, female friends that would say, oh my God, Max, this guy is so hot or this and that. And I was like, you know what? I can't even express, okay, this is like, sure, this person looks good and all, but I cannot make any sort of opinion. I cannot tell you if I'm interested in the person. I cannot tell you if I want to meet the person. I cannot say anything without meeting this person like in real life and like feeling
their energy,
how they are. Yeah. I just can't make an opinion. I don't care what they look like.
I got something for them when you guys are finished.
Real quick, I think that's such an important point to make, because in this day and age of social media, people are falling in love with the idea of somebody. and they don't actually know who they are.
No.
So I think it's important to recognize that. And when you are looking at the Instagram feeds and the TikToks and all these things, don't paint an idea of who they are in your head. Actually have lived a real experience with them. Watch them and how they treat the waiters. Watch them and how they treat someone that can do nothing for them. And you will see a lot.
And I even said, so I'm not much about watching TV or like dating shows or anything, but I love this thing where
just to throw it
where they
just yours.
Love is Blind, where people can't see each other and they talk through a wall.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's how I would want to do it, but it really
but you're kind of down.
It's crazy and I kind of want to try it.
Dude, I actually would love to just try that experiment and just see what happens.
Because I know it also matters like people's scent and all of this. We've talked about it on our podcast a lot, and we've talked about it now. Like, you need it. You can't just do that. You need to somehow get near people, and like, I need to know how somebody smells. And I don't mean their fucking perfume or cologne or whatever. I don't like guys that wear too much cologne. Like, I need to know like their scent.
You're like, who are you?
So can we do like a Love is Blind, and then you get to smell them, and then you get to see them, like something like that?
What they should do is a fitness reality TV show. It's what they really do. Like, just people that just work out.
Well,
no, I'm just kidding.
That was kind of my idea with like getting some roommates that also do content creation. Is like we could all do a YouTube channel together and that kind of thing. Content.
Oh, we're here. Unfortunately, I have to fly back. Otherwise, we'd just stay.
I know. Well,
we'll be back again.
But going and diving into what you guys were talking about, I think that what I've noticed, what I used to do during the dating stages.
Oh yeah, you're a guy. We can ask you.
Of course. What I would do is, I don't do this shit anymore. Just noted.
Yeah, tell us the dirty truth.
Well, if I would like a girl, right, I would ask her what her hobbies are and things like that, and I'd be like, yeah, I like that too. Yeah, wow. And then like I used to find myself like trying to do things that they liked just because I wanted to make them feel like I could relate to them. I used to do that. Okay. Now it's like, no, I don't like that shit. Like I don't, it's like. Yeah.
Okay, so our mutual friend Tommy, he told me this. He's like, you need to be careful because you have such an online presence. People can study you and show you exactly what they think you want them to see.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I don't mind saying that out loud because it's true. And that's why, like, I always say, like, my social media is me, ... There's more. And there's a reason why I don't give all my cards on social media. I think it's, it's a little bit of self-protection, but similar to just what you guys are saying, I think it's wise and smart to experience people in person and to not, I don't know. I think
social media is such a great thing, but it also has so much bad too.
For me too, if a guy really likes you, he'll be willing to wait and be willing to be your friend first. He'll be willing to spend that extra time to make sure that this is going to work out. I don't think that.
But I think too, if you meet somebody, you should be willing to experience the things they like. But it doesn't have to mean that you have to pretend to love them. Like I've realized, like, I don't need a person that likes to do what I do, but I do need, because I've had the opposite. I need somebody that is passionate about something. 100%. Because I've been with people that has no passion for anything, and it's.
So they don't. So what you're saying is they don't have to be in the gym and work out.
Oh no, that's different.
That's a different story. So I said I thought, because I've dated
in the gym 6 days a week.
I've dated about guys that did not work out and everything, and they would always be like, "Why are you in the gym so much? What do you do?" I don't care about that part. I don't care if they have big muscles. I don't care if they have a six pack. I don't care about none of this shit. But what I do care about is that they're healthy. And because I cannot be with a person that is not healthy. I dated a guy once. I didn't give a fuck. He never trained, but he always had health issues. There was always something wrong with him. And I was like, I'm not going to grow old with a person who always has issues. He's never going to be happy.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yes, he has to work out, but I don't want a bodybuilder or anything like that. I just want somebody that is healthy and eats well.
All right, so if you're healthy and eat well, DM Maxx.
I'm doing her management.
And I mean, preferably, because I said I want a man that is a man, and I'm a big and strong woman. Like, you better be more than me.
6'10", 320 pounds.
6'10". That would
pure
actually
muscle.
Be great.
No, but I like to. I told him I like to feel small.
Any Vikings?
I like to feel like a little girl sometimes. So I like big guys. I do like big guys because I want them to be able to like hug me and I feel small.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
So what are you guys trying to say?
What? Yes, I want a big man.
What are you guys trying to say?
That we like big men.
Am I
Yes.
not jacked enough, guys?
But they don't have to be jacked. It's not about that though.
I'm just talking.
I said I
We're
don't
gonna put a
need
photo
a
of you on the
I
screen.
don't need massive muscle. That's not what
Yeah,
it
yeah,
is.
yeah.
I
No.
don't.
I think I know.
They need some muscle. Yes.
Yeah.
What is it? Please
Okay,
explain.
so
Yeah, what do we need? Tell us.
this is. I'm just gonna describe her.
6'10"
This
is
is
for
what I
Max,
see.
though.
This is for Max.
6'10" is a lot.
So
Yeah.
Okay,
that's
let's dumb it.
listen.
Wait, who
Listen,
told us that?
the,
There was some woman that told us the other day. She's like, everybody wants that big guy until they carry his baby.
Yeah, I was
Wow,
just
yeah.
gonna say that. Like, you got to be careful, dude. You got to ask them. How much did you weigh when your mother delivered you?
Oh wow.
It's
But
a real question to
we don't,
ask.
I don't know
I
about
was
the baby
300
thing.
If you
pounds.
want babies,
Mm.
what? Come again?
I was 300 pounds.
300 pounds is a baby?
Upper.
If you guys are looking. No, I'm kidding. All right, so your guy would be 6'5".
Well, I'll have a C-section now. So.
So
Yeah,
6'5". Okay,
6'5" now, okay.
he has to have a bloodline of a Viking for
Yeah,
sure.
1000%. I just
His
yeah.
his ancestry, like his father's father, had to have cut off a few men's heads off. In
I'm
their
just going to
lifetime.
take this
100%.
podcast.
Yeah.
Whenever I
Because-
meet a guy,
Yeah.
I'm just going to send them the link to this podcast.
Honestly,
and they
do.
can get
So
Listen.
I'm breaking this shit
Go
down
ahead, go ahead.
how it needs to be broken down because this is what
Mhm.
you need, guys. If you listen and you got this bloodline, let me know. Let her know, actually, not me. So yeah, he has to have gone through several wars, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, he has to have somewhat of a gentle beast to him.
Mhm.
Also, he has to be a fucking leader. You can't be
Mhm.
leading him because I
Nope.
feel like you lead every fucking guy you be with. And he can't be, he has to be very intelligent and very driven. He can't be fucking lazy because the moment he's lazy for 5 minutes, you're on his ass.
This sounds very personal.
yeah. So yeah, that is your ideal guy. So, and you know,
Mhm.
a beard wouldn't mind. You don't mind beards for sure. So, yeah,
I do
you
like-
have a beard.
I
She,
do
like,
like
she
a
likes
beard,
beards.
yes.
So there you go.
It's not a must. I think it
No,
depends
it's not
on
a
the
must.
person.
I didn't say must.
No.
I didn't say.
But I
must.
definitely like a beard.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you want to see him, you know, the blood dripping from his beard after he just, you know, kills an animal or something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No,
That's
I
the
love
type of man you
animals.
need.
No,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
that's too much. I love animals.
Yeah.
You know what I
I'll
mean?
eat
though.
them,
You-
but I
no,
don't wanna
I'm
see them
saying a
die.
hunter.
No.
Like if he's
Yeah.
hunting, that's what I'm saying. You need a hunter
Mhm.
in your life. So
Yeah, you need that
Yeah.
real like hunter gatherer vibe. Yeah, who like could just murder something in an instant, but also just like caress your face.
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you
Yes.
There we go. Matchmakers.
Perfect.
Matchmakers over
go.
here.
Emily,
You
you're
guys-
next.
No, no. I actually I literally will not put out online exactly what I'm looking for.
Sorry, guys.
Is it at the end of the
Like,
day,
There's
the personality comes before this? Like now we're talking about a lot of visual things.
Yeah.
And I said, if you find a perfect match personality wise, like all these things do not
Totally.
have to be there. Yeah.
When I was
Because
younger,
I've definitely dated people that don't look anything like this. And then obviously it didn't work out. So it wasn't a match anyway.
yeah. When I was younger, I valued these other things so much more, and I thought that I had to have these certain things.
But
And as I've gotten older, I'm like, man, they could have none of those things, but if they have these things that are most important and like our soul's energies align, and I think you can't figure that out until you know who you are.
Could you please
Yeah.
share with us what that is?
What? What is
Share what?
what is me?
No, what you just said. Like you said, they don't have to have all these things, but if they have these things, is what matters the most. What is
So
it?
what matters the most to me is if like our souls align in our souls' journeys. So like, where are you going? What is the pace of your life, right? Are you cool and content with exactly where you're at? Are you passionate and purposeful? Do you know who you are? Are you truly being the truest version of yourself, the good and the bad and the ugly? Are you trying to hide away from that? Are you not, communicating the way that you really need to communicate? And going back to the soul's energy thing, I'm so aware of who I am. It's so evident and so clear to me, like who I cannot be connected to, our souls would never align. And it's almost like this, if I'm here on earth, I have to be who I am. I have to be this vibrant light that exists inside. So anything and anyone that takes away that light is not welcome in my life in any capacity.
good answer.
Thanks.
Very good. Yes.
Okay, so
Great answer.
we're going to wrap up the show here in just a
man.
few minutes. We're not
We
done
could
yet.
have done 3 hours more.
3 hours
easily.
for sure.
Do you guys do 3-hour podcasts?
Oh,
No.
hell no. No. We have a 1 hour cutoff. So
Yeah.
we have to. People are not
Same.
going to listen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
exactly.
It's too much.
I-
I mean, some probably would, but it's too much.
I'll tell you about a podcast that I did after the show. Yeah, it's too much. I agree.
It really is.
Okay, so before we kind of close out the show here, we're going to do a few speed round questions.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shit.
Here we go.
I'll go first and I'll ask the questions, but then you guys have to ask a question as well.
Okay.
Okay, so think of a
One
question
each.
in your head that you're going to ask the two of us.
Mhm.
So the first question that we're going to go for is, you can either tomorrow wake up with all the money in the world,
Mhm.
yet you don't have anyone to share it with, or you can wake up tomorrow broke as hell, but you found your person.
Ooh, that is rough. Broke as hell.
Broke as hell, lost everything, but you found your soul's match.
I don't know if it's. That is a very, very tricky
Achilles.
question. It's a very tricky
I would
question.
say broke as hell, because at the end of the day, we'll be able to work together and figure it out and make more money. I think because I would not be able to just stay broke. There's absolutely no way.
No.
But I don't want to be rich and not happy either.
Mhm.
So I would rather find that person, and then like I could maybe teach them and they could teach me, and we could help each other and say, hey, look, we're broke now, but let's make it here. And I think that's more of a valuable relationship as opposed to you being rich and trying to find somebody. Because when you're rich and you're that high value man, it's very difficult for a man to find somebody that doesn't want him for just his money.
Mm.
I agree with the answer. I'm going to say the same. The only thing I'm thinking is, if you're in that position, that is really going to take a toll in that relationship. That is the only thing. But as I said, because I've already made that choice. I used to have a job where I made way more money than I make today, but I was miserable. And I decided that I'd rather do what I do right now and make less, because more money will come. And I know that I will always work hard and I will always figure it out. But I guess if you're saying if you met your person, I'm going to assume that that person thinks alike like me. So we'll probably figure it out. But it's still a very rough question. Like, it's a very hard question.
Okay, so I love y'all's answers. I wanted to let you guys answer, but it's actually my answer as well, because I've been broke. I've had nothing, and I've got myself exactly to where I'm at.
Mhm.
So if I'm alone, I'm going to get to where I'm at, and I'm going to get
Yeah.
further. If I'm with my person, like my person,
Yeah.
we're going to go so much further, and we're going to be able to build this so much quicker than I was able to do on my own. So I would
I
much
also think,
rather.
I don't know what it would, because obviously, so since I'm not with somebody, I haven't found my person. I've
Totally.
found people, but
Yeah,
they were
yeah,
not
yeah.
my person, you know? So
Yeah.
It's hard
it's
to
also hard to
imagine.
answer it because I
Mm.
don't know who my person is.
Yeah. And here's the thing too. I think I've experienced things where I've had a season of my life where I felt like I accomplished and reached everything that I wanted to accomplish. And like, of course I'd be okay with more things and success and whatever,
Mhm.
but it's like I got everything that I wanted, and yet I was alone. And I was like, none of this matters to me if I don't have someone to share it with.
Mhm.
You know, like that's more valuable to me than any amount of success. You know, shared experience is so beautiful to me. Like I want to share as many experiences as I can with friends and
Mhm.
family and partners, than as much as I can before I die, you know? So thanks for playing along.
Yeah.
Do you guys have a question?
I do. Do you?
You go first.
Okay. What is your number one goal that you want to achieve this before this year is over?
That's a hard question, because I'm already doing all of it. And it's not, so it's like what I would say, what I would verbalize are things that it's not like I'm chasing to accomplish it. It's like coming out. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you have anything that you want to have finalized before this year is over? It can be anything. A thing that you want to own, or a place
like
that
if I
you
could just
want
set,
to
like,
be, or
if I could just be like, this is the one thing I'd really want, like the biggest desire. Is that the same question or no?
I don't think it is.
No, what are one thing that you are going to achieve before this year is over?
That
No,
you
I'm
want
not going
to
to say
achieve,
you
that
want.
you want.
No, that you are going.
Oh,
I
that
mean,
you're going
to.
achieve.
Because
Yeah,
that's the way we
Oh,
talk
gotcha.
here. We don't
100%.
talk like
Gotcha.
that.
Okay. Because I was
Gotcha.
thinking like,
Okay.
I'm reaching for this goal. I'm
I
like,
mean,
no,
I
I'm
thought she
doing. That's
meant
why I
like
said
that.
I'm doing
No.
all of it.
What's going to be done before this year is
Oh,
over?
okay.
One thing.
I'm releasing my first book.
I love it. Perfect.
Yeah,
Yes.
so excited
Good
for
answer.
that.
Me mastering my craft that I'm doing now.
Which
I want to
is
master all these.
How are you going to measure if you achieved it?
How am I going to measure if I
Go
achieve?
Yeah.
Coach
How do you
Max, go
know?
Coach
How do
Max.
you know if you achieved? When do you achieve it?
how do I know when I'm going to achieve it?
No,
Yeah,
like how do you know if you're like,
for example, if
how
you're
are
like,
you gonna
if I
measure?
have
She said, I'm gonna
macros-
release my book. When the book is out, boom, she did it. It's done. How are you gonna measure? I know, I love your answer, but how are you
For
gonna
me,
know?
I don't know. I'm one of those type of people that, I don't know if this is gonna make sense or not, but when I wake up in the morning, like I have that gut feeling in myself, knowing that I have to master something or achieve something. If I wake up that morning and feel like, all right, I did it, like that's what I would know. I don't know if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
It's like the confidence of your
Let me
journey.
know when.
Yeah.
Let me know
I
when the
guess.
day is. Call me.
Of course,
Call me.
Of course, yeah. I
And
just
FaceTime me while we poop, because that's how it works
Yeah,
every
it's
time.
true, yeah.
I
guys
swear,
do that?
Yeah.
he always fucking calls when I'm in the bathroom.
And you answer.
No, it's not on
You're the one
purpose.
answering. You're the
he
one
would
answering.
He would do it too, and he'd be like, "I'm pooping." I was like, "Cool, me
Yeah.
too."
Yeah, don't ever call me. I am not the friend for that.
Why not?
That's just not
You don't
my
want a
vibe.
poop session?
So
Nope.
when people ask, "Are you guys dating?" No, he's my bro. He's my bro.
Yeah,
like
literally.
literally, he's my
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
That's gonna be the title.
Definitely.
Are they
Because
dating?
whoever I'm dating,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be FaceTiming them when I'm pooping.
Okay, yeah, that's great.
No.
But I also, yeah,
It's not like I'm ashamed or anything like that, but that's like a limit for me. I'm not gonna do
yeah,
that.
we have boundaries here.
Yeah, I'm not.
I mean,
gonna
I
do
have
that.
bigger boundaries than you guys apparently, but that's okay. So your answer. Wait. Oh yeah, your question.
Gotta be quick. Okay. So my question to you, Emily. My God, you stole my answer. My question to you would be.
Did you have a poop
Oh,
question?
I got one. Yeah.
No, we're not doing that. That's a
So-
boundary.
I want to know: is there an escape that you have that isn't meditation, that isn't the gym, and that isn't prayer, and that isn't anything that you've done recently that you've been kind of curious about doing? Another escape in your life.
An escape. What does that mean? An escape that I'm curious about doing. What is it? What do you rephrase
Meaning,
that?
like, okay, so for example, like, all right, well, your escape would be fitness, right? Something that gets you like.
I think it's opposite. I think it's my alignment. It's not. It used to be an escape for me. It's not. It's my alignment. Like I was created to be an excellent athlete. Even if I'm not like on some crazy team or whatever, like an athlete is who I am. The lifestyle of an athlete is part of who I am. So for me, that's none of those things are an escape. An escape is me booking a trip to an island last minute by my damn self. And it was everything I needed.
There you go.
It's a good question though.
Yeah. I was just gonna say right now, I don't feel like I need an escape.
Yeah.
I'm
God, I
not
love you
there right
guys.
now.
Yeah, I don't
But-
feel the way I'm, yeah.
At some point, I do, and it would be like that.
Yeah.
Highly-
As I said, I've already
highly
done a
recommend.
trip in my life when I went 2 months all by myself to Thailand, and it's the best thing I've ever done.
Wow. I want to go to Bali so bad.
Oh, I went to Bali too. I went Thailand, Laos, Bali. It's incredible.
We
And
literally-
I went there. Honestly, I went there to party.
Uh-huh.
I was young.
love
I
how
was
you say
young.
it. She's like
No, I
judging
was
herself.
young. I was very young. I was very young.
Yeah.
I went to party. I ended up doing scuba diving for 2 months and did not have a single drink, and
Dude.
came home with a master diver license. I said it was the best trip I've ever done, because I went there, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna fucking party. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna get drunk. And I probably went party like a couple of days, realized I went to an island, and I was like, where are all the people? Why is nobody on the beach?
Where's the party?
No, somebody's like, no, everybody's out scuba diving. And I was like, scuba diving? And then everybody would come back with the boats. And at the end of the day, I was like, wait a second, because I was afraid of water back then. So I had an incident once where I used to love to swim and dive and everything. And then I had a thing happen to me, and I was so scared. And I was like, when I heard about this diving, I was like, I need to do that right now. I need to get over my fear of water.
Yeah.
So I had to force myself. It took 4 days for me to put my head under the water.
Damn.
I went in the pool and did all this shit, and it didn't work. And I told them, I'm not gonna do it, because I know in my head I can put my feet on the bottom and I can stand up. It's not gonna happen. I said, if this is gonna happen, you have to put me out in the ocean where I can't do anything. So first day they put me on a boat together with all the other people. I got so stressed and I could not do it. And I said, please, can I do it alone with an instructor? So an instructor, she swam out with me, held my hands like this, and we went down, and I freaked out, and she just held my hand and said, just keep looking at me. And we just sat there until I stopped freaking out. And then
Wow.
I could not stop after that. I was like, I want to live in the ocean.
Girl, so on my little solo vacation that I did, I went, it's called scuba diving. It's a mix between scuba and snorkeling because I didn't have time to go do the whole certification thing. I couldn't get in. And I was so glad that I did that. But once I got under, you could not get me out of the water.
It's so beautiful, right?
It's amazing.
It's like a whole
world down there.
Yeah.
I think I need to do that. I've never scuba dived before.
Ever?
It's been so long for me. We have to go do it. I think I need a
Let's do it.
refreshment course or something because I haven't dived in so many years now.
Okay, we'll do it.
Yeah.
Did you have an answer for your question?
Oh.
Do you have it? Do you have an escape?
Oh,
Or like what's an escape that you want to experience?
I would have to say the same answer as you. I mean, this is my life. Like fitness is my life. Coaching is my life. My escape would be a different country.
Mm-hmm.
Like just experiencing a different land and different people, different cultures or something like that. Like that would be my escape.
We're doing it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
let's
we
plan
are.
the trip.
Yeah,
Oh, we're doing it.
Yeah, we know. We're doing it.
All right, guys, you'll catch us in Costa Rica, Bali, where we're headed.
Everywhere.
We're probably
Mexico, Greece. I don't know how many different places we've said so far.
yeah.
I mean, we
Damn.
could just like on the map, shot
I
ice.
wish,
and
you
just,
guys lived closer. You guys are seriously amazing.
Wait, this is
Ah,
not
we're
an
moving.
issue. We'll come
We're
like
moving.
this.
When do you
Okay.
want to move
It
in?
was,
Okay.
what was it?
You wanna
2.5
move in next
hour
week?
flight?
We'll
I
move in
need to
next
come to
week or
Miami,
something. I'm just
too.
kidding.
I just need to fly back to Walk Miami Swim Week.
Okay.
And then, and my competition. But after that, I'm down for anything.
Okay, perfect.
Just come grab me in Vegas.
Thank you for
Let's
having us
go.
on. I
Thanks
appreciate
so
it.
much for being on, guys. You guys are amazing.
Thank you for having
you?
us.
All right, guys, you know the drill. If you enjoyed today's show, please do us a favor and tag us on your Instagram stories. Tag us. Let us know what your favorite part of the show was. Make sure to follow both of them down below. They are both coaches. So if you guys aligned with them and you want to seek out coaching services from them, they have that as well as just other amazing things on their page. So send some love, guys. Send some likes. Subscribe to the show, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.